Hey everyone, this is Wild and Woolly Gaming coming to you live from the middle of nowhere, the center of everywhere, to bring you some awesome sounds from patch 1.91. To me, this is an audio masterpiece. They've almost totally revamped the game in one patch, and by giving it dynamic sounds, listen to that. The F4 sounds incredible. By giving it dynamic sound, they've really added new life to this game. I'm genuinely surprised. I thought the biggest features, based on what I had seen and whatever else, would be the F4, and the F4 is a huge feature to me. But man, adding this type of sound begs for VR support. I don't know if it's currently there, but listen to this MiG going by. It's incredible, or at least me going by the MiG. And it just sounds so good. So what I'm going to try to do now, and I don't do it so well, is I'm going to try to shoot it out, because when you kill a plane now, many times it sounds like fireworks. As it breaks up. It's so cool. So yeah, I mean, and look at those shock cones at the back of the F4. They've done such a great job. So what I'm doing here is with the B-29, I'm testing out not only piston engines, because I believe they do have a slightly different sound, but you also want to test out bombs. Now, bombs do, at least from what I could hear, they sound a little bit different. And everything sounds a little bit different from inside the cockpit too, but I guess that's expected. So, anyways, just listen to the bombs as they drop and they hit. Sounds a bit different in my opinion, and I think it sounds really good. So now for the A2D Sky Shark, this is like the mother of all, small freaking attack planes in this game right now. May as well be like the A-10 Warthog. So it sounds really good. The rockets sound good. Now, one cool thing is, listen to this. Listen to the debris when I go by it. I don't know if you could hear that. Try it again. Because it kicks up debris, you can actually, it almost feels like, or sounds like rocks going by the cabin. So I'm shutting off the engine so you can hear the bombs better. It sounds pretty good. And then, from here I'll just kind of give you the rest of the rockets and cannons, but they've done a really good job, again, of sound design in this. Really quite impressive. Quite impressive. So now I'm going to move to tanks, and this is the XM1. Such a great tank, and as you can see here, I'm shutting off the engine, putting it back on, just kind of doing basic exercises, and it's pretty cool. So I'm moving, and now as soon as you go into aim down sights mode, essentially, now all of a sudden it switches it to night vision like this and thermal like that, and you can hear the reload animation is different, as well as the gunfire ammunition, or ammunition sound. I was going to say animation, but sound is obviously a much better word regardless. And it looks really cool too. So if you have night vision and thermal optic, equipped vehicles, more or less, this is what you can expect. I still haven't seen what the Panther 2, for example, will show, being that was a much more antiquated version of this, but we'll see. We'll see how they implement it. And I mean, gunfire, just regular cannon fire, looks great in this. So it's just, and look at this. That looks really cool. I mean, these things light up like no one's business. I mean, this is a game changer. So this is the M4 Sherman, and I figure this is a popular tank. So listen to this. It's a very typical gun reload sounding and just shot sound in general. It's a pretty cool tank, one that most people like. It more or less can do it all. Maybe not everything well, but again, listen to the sound. It sounds a little different from inside the cockpit as opposed to outside. If I'm not mistaken. So I'm trying to keep commentary down to a minimum just because of how, I guess you could say, sensitive this is. I'm going to miss this by a mile. But it sounds different, you know, tremendously. And as you could hear before, I was shutting off and putting on the engine because that is a new feature. So let's see. Of course, we're not going to do much of anything with that. But this thing still Tokyo drifts pretty well. Anyways, let's go to an actual air battle and see how the new sound is. So in the beginning, it's like a cacophony. Listen. So cool. In the beginning of any match, it's almost like a cacophony of sound, of just jets roaring. This is how it should be. You know, it's sound 360. It's not just your plane. And you can hear planes breaking Mach, which is amazing to me. Especially when you have a flyby with an enemy plane, and then it just goes past Mach 1 right next to you. It's so cool. So, I mean, at this point, tell me what you guys think. To me, this is the most impressive part of this patch by a long shot. I mean, thoroughly. I am genuinely surprised by it. And I can't say that enough. It's a genuinely impressive patch. And it's the stuff that they've done to improve the game outside of just adding content, you know, tangible content like the F4, the MiG-21, the Chengdu. I mean, my apologies, I'm not really too great with Chinese vehicle names, but you get the point. They've done so much, and I think this makes it a significantly more immersive game. So that rocket sounds a little bit different. I'm not going to play this F100 all too well. I've been kind of stinking it up today. However, so I don't know how I'm missing shots, to be honest with you. Like, that makes no sense to me. That sounds good, right? It's such an immersive sound. So, what I'm doing is I'm hitting him, and he dies. Not by me. Again, I don't know how I didn't hit any of those. That makes no sense to me. Anyways. So, I mean, yeah, this is a really cool patch. And again, it's not because of the content. It's more or less just because of the sound, in my opinion. And that, to me, brings this game a whole new life. Totally. Listen to this. I think he dies. So cool. If only I had my cannons. Look, perfect shots. You never have the right stuff when you have perfect shots lined up. Always. That's how it always works. Anyways, guys, that's it for me today. Tell me what you think. I mean, are you guys enjoying this new patch? Personally, I love it. I find that, you know, this is really just an incredible patch, and you know, as far as content is concerned, they've probably given us more content in this patch alone than almost any other patch they've ever released, at least recently. It's huge, and it's gone a long way towards making this continually more replayable game, as well as a more immersive game. So, anyways, guys, it's Wild and Woolly checking out, and catch you guys on the flip side. Take care.